Good morning, students. In last class, we have learnt about the events in the reproduction, that is sexual reproduction. What are the events are present in the sexual reproduction? First one is pre-fertilization changes, second one is fertilization, third one is post-fertilization changes. What is the first one? That is the pre-fertilization changes. In the pre-fertilization changes, again there are two subtopics are there. One is gametogenesis, another one is gamete transfer. What is the first one? That is the gametogenesis. Another one is gamete transfer. Okay. So, already we had completed in previous class, that is gametogenesis. Today we are going to learn about gamete transfer. If gamete transfer is completed, then pre-fertilization changes complete, then after fertilization, then after post-fertilization changes. Now, let us see gamete transfer. Yes, for the movement of the gametes, for example, if you take in the male gametes, they are flagellated. So, based on the presence of the flagella, there are two types. One is flagellated, another one is non-flagellated. Yes, flagellated. Due to presence of the flagella, it can move easily. Where do you observe this one? For example, we can able to see algae and fungi. Next, here bryophytes, pteridophytes. Okay, in this all means all plants of the bryophytes and pteridophytes, you can able to see up to here, irrespective of the flagellated, here water acting as a medium for the movement of the gametes. Okay, water acting as a medium for the movement of the gametes. Okay, then water is involving for the transfer of the gametes. Here algae, fungi, bryophytes and pteridophytes, this comes under the flagellated, and whereas non-flagellated means what happens here? Flagella is absent. Flagella is absent. If the flagella is absent, how it is possible to transfer of the gametes? So, when the flagella is absent in these organisms, what happens? Tube-like structure will be formed. What will be formed? Tube-like structure will be formed. This tube-like structure we are calling as a pollen tube. So, pollen tube is playing an important role for the transfer of the male gametes from the male reproductive part to the female reproductive part, that is the stamen to the gynecium or the ovary. Who are involving? Pollen tube. Pollen tube extends from the pollen grain to the ovary, and in the ovary, whatever the female gamete, that is ovary is nothing but female gamete, in this part whatever the egg cell is present, here that nucleus will be fused, whatever the nucleus are present in the pollen tube, then fertilization will be taken place. Then example, if you see here, what are the examples comes under the non-flagellated? Gymnosperms. Another one is angiosperms. Okay. Now, what we have completed? Gamete transfer we had completed. With this, what we have completed? Pre-fertilization changes completed. So, yesterday we have learnt, what we have learnt regarding the based on the sexuality of the flowers. There are unisexual flowers and bisexual flowers are present. Unisexual flowers, only one sexual organ, that may be the male and female sexual part will be present in the flower or in that plant. That is the reason why those are called as a unisexual plants. Whereas bisexual plant means in that plant both male and female sexual parts are present within a flower. Within a flower both male and female sexual parts are present. Those are called as a bisexual flower. But in unisexual flower, this presence of the sexual organs on the same plant or the different plants, there are two types. One is the monoecious, another one is the dioecious. Monoecious means, what did we learn under the monoecious? On the single plant, what happens in different places, male and female reproductive organs or parts are present. That is the monoecious. Whereas in the dioecious, in two different plants, in the two different plants, in one plant male reproductive part present, in another plant female reproductive part is present, that is a dioecious. Then some exceptional or else here a specific examples we learned regarding the monoecious and dioecious. What are those specific examples? One is in monoecious, if you see, Chara is a good example which is related to the green algae. From the node sexual organs, nearby the node sexual organs will be grown. Above the node the female reproductive part, that is called as a oogonium, is present, whereas under the oogonium antheridium is present. Antheridium we are calling as a globule, it is a spherical in structure, whereas oogonium we are calling as a nucleus, it is a flask shaped structure. Then here in this 8 tube cells are present in the female, whereas in the male 5 cells are present in the female. Those are due to consisting of these different characteristics. This example is a specific one under the monoecious. Whereas in the dioecious, Marchantia of the bryophyte, we have seen that example. In that example, male thallus or female thallus are separate. Antheridiophore, on the antheridiophore stalked antheridium will be grown. From the antheridium male gametes will be produced. But whereas Archegoniophore, it is a female thallus. On the female thallus, what is that? Archegoniophore will be grown. Archegoniophore, what happens on that? Archegonium will be grown. Then after, from that female gamete will be. So these two separately on separate plants it will be grown. This is the example for the dioecious. So now gamete transfer we have completed. So pre-fertilization changes we have completed. Next we are going to learn about the fertilization. Okay, fertilization. What is fertilization? Fertilization means fusion of male and female gametes. It's called as a syngamy or the fertilization. What do you call this one? This process is called as a syngamy. Then due to that, what do you get? You will get a zygote. What is zygote? Zygote is a 2n diploid in condition. Okay, next. So what we got now? We got a zygote. In the fertilization, formation of the zygote, up to formation of the zygote only we are running. Next one is, in the fertilization there are two types are present. One is external fertilization, another one is internal fertilization. So first one, what is the first one? External fertilization. Second one, internal fertilization. What is fertilization? Fusion of male and female gametes are called as a fertilization or the syngamy. Here 2n state of the zygote diploid in condition, it is a vital link between the two generations, the previous generation and the next generation. Then let us see some of the differences between the external fertilization and internal fertilization. In this external fertilization, what happens? Gametes, male and female gametes releases into external environment. External, what do you call them? That is the environment. So that what happens? Fertilization takes place outside of the body. Fertilization takes place outside of an organism. That is called as a external fertilization. Here plenty or many male and female gametes will be released. Many male and female gametes will be released, but after releasing the male and female gametes, then what happens? They will be grown, they will be developed. After releasing the male and female gametes many, they have to develop. So then after what happens? Zygote will be formed, further steps will be followed. But here there will not be proper care. Why? Because after formation, after releasing the gamete to new individual comes. The new individual comes to as it to grow as a adult or developed one. Up to this many steps, what happens? Here there will be a threat from predators. There will be a threat from the predators. That is the reason why in the external fertilization, whatever the organisms perform, up to it reach adult stage, it will be a dangerous situations too for them. That is the reason why this is called as a vulnerable situation. Okay. So there will not be proper care. Why? Because these are releasing into the external atmosphere. What are the examples here? Example, if you take fishes, amphibians like frog. Frog is a amphibian. Next, what we can write? Algae, fungi. Okay, these. Next, let us see about the internal fertilization. In the internal fertilization, gametes releases into the body. Male gametes releases into the female body. After releasing, the fertilization also taking place inside the body. That is the reason why it is called as the internal fertilization. In this aspect, what happens here? Here both male and female many are releasing, but here male will be more than female. The number wise, if you see, the male gametes are more than the female gametes. Okay, then let us see example. What are the examples here? Bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Whereas if you take reptiles or also mammals, also example, reptiles and mammals are the example for the internal fertilization. So under the fertilization, there are two types. One is the external fertilization, another one is the internal fertilization. External means outside of the body the fertilization takes place. Internal means inside the body the fertilization takes place. Now let us see what are the post fertilization changes. The third step in the events of the reproduction, post fertilization changes. What are the post fertilization changes? Here there are two steps are involved. One is zygote formation, zygote development, as well as embryo. In that first one, I am going to explain about zygote formation. Already we learned just now only. Due to the fission of male and female gamete. So what is happening? Male gamete as well as female gamete. This is a female gamete and male gamete. Due to the fusion of these two gametes, what we are getting? We are getting zygote. So this is the haploid one, this is the haploid one. Now this is the diploid zygote. Zygote is a vital link. It is a vital link between two generations. Vital link between the previous generation and the next generation. So zygote is a vital link between very important this statement. Zygote is a vital link between the two generations. Between two generations. Okay, but whereas if you see in algae or fungi, such type of the lower organisms, what happens here? Zygote is a rest in position. Rest in position means what happens? Thick cell wall will be formed. Thick wall will be formed. Okay. Then it forms a spore like structure that is called as a zygospore. What we are calling? That is called as a zygospore. Here what happens? Zygote is a 2n in condition. It forms a thick cell wall like structure and it undergoes into the rest position. Then after meiosis will be taken place. After that what happens? Spores will be formed. So diploid to haploid. Most of the algae and fungi, haplantic life cycle will be taken place. Only zygote is a diploid. Remaining total life cycle of the algae and fungi, if you see, that is a haplantic life cycle we can able to see. This is about the zygote. Fusion of male and female gamete forms zygote, and in algae zygote is 2n only, but it forms resting spores. Those are called as a zygospores. Now let us see about the embryo. Embryogenesis. What is embryogenesis? Formation of the embryo from the zygote. Formation of embryo. From where it is growing? From the zygote. That is called as a embryogenesis. Here mainly there are two steps are involved. One is cell division. Another one is cell differentiation. Cell division and cell differentiation, these two steps are involved during the formation of the embryo. Cell division, after what happens? New cells will be formed. Due to the formation of the new cells, what happens? New tissues to organs, organ to organ system, then after organism will be formed. In that manner embryogenesis will be taken place based on the zygote development. Based on the zygote development, living organisms are divided into three types. What are those? Let us see. Based on the zygote development, living organisms divided into how many types? Three types. The first one is oviparous. What is oviparous? Egg giving animals comes under the oviparous. Here what happens, especially if you take birds or reptiles, birds and reptiles in this organism, whether it may be the fertilized or unfertilized egg, around that a calcareous shell will be present. Calcareous shell is present. For example, this is the egg, you might have known the egg structure. Around that a calcareous shell is present. Okay. After that, what happens here? Hatching process will be there. What is hatching? Hatching or incubation. What is hatching? Providing the sufficient or required temperature for the development of the embryo which is present inside the calcareous shell. Okay. After hatching, what happens? Young ones comes out. New individuals or young ones comes out. This is the small information regarding the oviparous. Now let us see about the viviparous. Viviparous example, mammals. Mammals are the good example for the viviparous. Here in this regard, what happens? Fusion of the male and female gamete taken place, then due to that zygote will be formed, then after embryo development inside the female organism, Here placenta is present. What is present? Placenta is present. What is the use of this placenta? Main function of the placenta, it provides nourishment. It provides nourishment for the developing embryo. Placenta. Then after there will be a certain time for the development of the embryo. Then after it comes out as the young ones from the female body. Okay, this is about the viviparous. One more important characteristic is parental care. Parental care we can able to see in the viviparous animals. Okay, next we are going to learn about the oviviparous. Oviviparous. Oviviparous animals, example if you take sharks and rattlesnakes. So in this aspect also, what happens here? Embryo will be formed. It will be inner side only, it will be attached in the female reproductive part, but the very important point is placenta is absent. Here placenta is present, here placenta is absent. This is the main difference between the viviparous and oviparous. Here placenta is present, there placenta is absent. Whenever the placenta is absent, what happens? Nourishment will not be provided to the developing embryo. However, directly it produces young ones. Okay. The main difference between the viviparous and oviparous means here placenta present, here placenta is absent. So that is the main difference between the ovi and viviparous. Now what we have learned? Based on the zygote. What is that? Based on the zygote development or embryo formation. Then here how many types are there? Oviparous, viviparous, oviviparous. Oviparous example, birds and reptiles, calcareous shell like structure we can able to see. Hatching process, after hatching or incubation, sufficient temperature will be provided in order to produce the young ones. Whereas in the viviparous example, mammals, embryo will be developed inside the female body. After gestation period, what happens? It will be come outside as a young ones. Here placenta availability is there and nourishment will be provided with the help of the placenta. Parental care also we can able to see. But oviviviparous, sharks and rattles are the good, rattlesnakes are the good example for this oviviviparous. Embryo will be developed inside, but the thing is there is no observation of the placenta. That is the reason why the main difference of the viviparous and oviparous, we can take this point, placenta present and placenta absent. Then after here, so with this what we have completed, 3 steps, 3 events which are present. First one is pre-fertilization changes, second one is fertilization, third one is post-fertilization changes we had completed. Okay. Then if you take in the plants, after completion of the fertilization, what happens? After completion of the fertilization, stamens, sepals, petals, these all are fall off. These all are fall off. Then what happens here? Ovary will become to fruit. Ovary will become to fruit. Then ovule will become to seed. Okay. So like that, here some post fertilization changes, whatever we observe in the plants, these all are stamen, sepal, petals are fall off. Then ovary will become to fruit and ovule will become to seed. Okay. Then in the ovary there are 3 layers are present in the fruit. One is pericarp, outer layer. Okay. Next one is mesocarp, that is the middle layer. Next one is endocarp, innermost layer. Okay. Even in the morphology of the flowering plants also we have learnt regarding the fruit. Okay. These all things in the next lesson we are going to learn elaboratively. Again, the next lesson is sexual reproduction in flowering plants according to the NCERT. Next lesson in my next class I am going to teach. This is about reproduction in organisms. Okay. Thank you, children.